peace are leading us, and love is all we'll ever trust. Yeah, no, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. Through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go. See the horizon, turn us to thousands, and we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon, turn us to thousands, and on we'll go, through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays. And and
Suck the life right out of my veins when you spoke my name. Got the kind of thing going that tips the scales. Yeah, you keep me sane. I'll be the clouds beyond your skies. We'll flutter by like butterflies. I'll be the blue inside your eyes. Your crazy loving keeps me paralyzed. Wanna taste you again like a secret or a sin. Wanna feel you again like the ocean sand on my skin. I'll be the fight against your fears, forever here, just save those tears. I'll be the courage in your wings, not letting go, I'm all you need. Sounds like
you're never gonna make it. You're not good enough, there's a million other people with the same stuff. You really think you're different? Man, you must be kidding. Think you're gonna hit it, but you just don't get it. It's impossible, it's not probable, you're irresponsible. Too many obstacles, you gotta stop it, yo. You gotta take it slow, you can't be a pro. Don't waste your time no more. Who the fuck are you to tell me what to do? I don't give a damn if you say you disapprove. I'm gonna make my move, I'm gonna make it soon. And I'll do it cause it's what I wanna fucking do. Cause all these opinions and all these positions, they come in millions, they blocking your vision. But no, you can't listen, that shit is all fiction. Cause you hold the power as long as you're driven.
Make it. There's no way that you make it. And maybe you can fake it, but you're never gonna make it. Are you just gonna take that? Make them take it all back. Don't tell me you believe that. Are you just gonna take that? Or will you fucking fight back? Fucking fight back. You ain't gonna make it, you ain't never ever gonna break it. You can never beat them and they're better than you face it. Thinking that they give a damn, you're not thinking straight, kid. No, they don't give a damn, you got what I'm saying? I'm not fucking playing, I'll give it to you straight, man. There's too many others and you're not that great, man. Stop what you're saying, stop what you're making. Everybody here knows that you just faking. Nah, I don't wanna hear it anymore, I don't wanna hear it anymore. All these fucking thoughts, they are not what I need anymore. I'm about to shut the motherfucking door on all you poor ass haters with your heads in the clouds, talking out loud so proud. You better shut your goddamn mouth before I do more speak out. It's about to head down. Never gonna make it. There's no way that you make it. And maybe you can fake it, but you're never gonna make it. Are you just gonna take that? Make them take it all back. Don't tell me you believe that. Are you just gonna take that? Or will you fucking fight back? Fucking fight back.
traveling for days without my knowledge of provenance. Throughout my life, you taught me a renegade. Oh, wow. Through all my lows, you said we could start again, but I'm a renegade of your love. Oh, but I'm a renegade of your love. Renegade of your love.
Been on the streets a few months. I'm trying to pick myself up. I may be living alone, but I still believe in love. And although my flaws had dragged me down on the coldest night, I'm still kicking around. Then I saw you back before my time was shortened. No, throughout my life you called me a renegade. Oh, throughout my loves you said we could start again, but I'm a renegade of your love.
But I'm a renegade of your love. Renegade of your love.
As I've been told in the office, that's a long time ago now, but well, we hope for something good. I'm joined by Steve for what should be, I think, a game that potentially got a few goals in it. Unfortunately, for Newcastle fans, shut your ears now. I think they're probably going to all go in your net.
I suspect so. I'm not expecting the avalanche that one or two seem to be promoting around this morning. I see nothing other than a Liverpool victory. But, you know, well-drilled Newcastle side after a international break, all that comes into play as well for some of the players. You see Firmino on the bench, for example, for Liverpool. So there's an example of it. And I see this as a Liverpool victory, but I don't see it as something that's going to wash Newcastle away today at all. A couple of goals and you know, I think Liverpool will be, that's fine for today.
I've got them at 3. I think 3-0. But like you're saying, it's almost a foregone conclusion before we've kicked a ball. We're both saying that Liverpool are going to win. Can Newcastle rewrite that script? I look at the team and I think, well, maybe this is counter-attack with Almiron, Atsu and Joelinton. If the rest of the guys can dig in, then maybe there's something there for them. So you never know, and maybe the break has done the Newcastle players a world of good. They have just kicked off, by the way, in glorious sunshine on a beautiful day. And it's all Liverpool so far. Yeah, I mean, again, it's whether they can find a way around Van Dijk, get to Adrian, who, you know, maybe not as strong as Alisson Becker, who he's replacing.
Yeah, you know, there are glimmers of hope here for Newcastle. We kind of all, as you say, the form, the suggestions, the team lineups all suggest a Liverpool victory. But, you know, Newcastle have shown form. Yes, you know, against Spurs, something was there. You know, there was a bit of life in the side. They were committed to it. They were organised, and they got the goal, as you say. And on that scenario, you'd say, well, they do have a chance. Of course they do. But for me, this is a different Liverpool side to the Spurs side. This is a Liverpool side that is totally focused on winning this Premier League. done the other stuff now. We've enjoyed our time in Europe. Let's get back to winning Premier League, and that's why I have them down as favourites for the title this season, just because the focus is there. This is their holy grail for this season. I think that's why they're more focused than a side like Spurs, and there's more quality than a side like Spurs for this Newcastle side. But that performance against Spurs gives me hope for Newcastle that they're not going to get washed away today, but I don't think they have the quality. As you say, goal on the break, yes, absolutely. I don't see them necessarily not scoring, but I see Liverpool as having the edge and getting those 2-3 goals that will give them the victory this afternoon.
Yeah, I think it's well summed up. Well, here we go. Maybe an opportunity as actually tries to break. Actually, Joelinton has held the ball up well, and then the out ball to Kraft is a poor one. Ball played down the line. Divock Origi tries to hold it in, pressed by Almiron. He's not quite able to keep up with that, and Origi has gone down heavily there, and he maybe hurt himself just to try and keep that ball in. Well, he has he's not got a quick turning circle there, has he? And that's not his game, is it? Keeping it tight, the touch line, and inadvertently just got caught there. But still down, and maybe requires a little bit of treatment. And Firmino sat on the bench, probably because he's had a busy time recently. I don't know if he played. Didn't Brazil get beaten by Peru or Chile or something like that?
Yeah.
Anyway, so I don't know if he played in that. But anyhow, we're goalless so far at Anfield. It's a beautiful sunny day. Liverpool have had the ball pretty much, that's all. Newcastle just sitting in their own half and having to defend so far. Yeah, it's a beautiful sunny day, and our forecast is for goals. But how many Newcastle are going to get, I don't know. And then I guess that we've got to look at a little bit at Joelinton, who may not see that much of the ball today. 4 games have yielded just 1 goal. It's too early to say, but I suspect that he's not Solomon Rondon, or does he carry that threat? I'm not sure.
I think when we've seen him in Hoffenheim, I watched him quite a bit in the Bundesliga, and I think it's a decent signing. Like a lot of players, I think he was overpriced over the summer, and I think Newcastle have overpaid for him. But he's the kind of player who I think can fit into that category. I don't think he's a Rondon at all, as you say, he isn't, but he will put himself around. He's very quick, particularly when Newcastle break, which is how they're set up to play, particularly in the away games. I think that's where he holds the threat for this Newcastle side.
Yep, long ball forward here for Newcastle. It didn't quite work out. Good to see Almiron trying to get on the end of it. He really caught the eye last season, the Paraguayan, but again, you just wonder, all that good work, but is it allied to goals? Probably he's more an assist sort of player, isn't he, really? But I thought he looked good yesterday, last season, should I say, with Rondon and with Ayose Perez, and of course they lost those 2 guys. I guess then, as we see our first look at Jurgen Klopp, he looks happy enough, although he's making a signal to his team already. And I think that was something structurally he was pointing to there. So far, I think so good. Liverpool have got going. They've seen a lot of the ball, although they haven't tested out Dubravka yet.
Yeah, it's kind of what we expected. There's a little glimmer of an attack there from Newcastle, wasn't it? On the break, they got, as you say, Almiron and and Joelinton both involved in that attack. Yes, it didn't create anything in terms of in front of goal, but it just gave the idea that there is an outlet where they can get at the 2 central defenders at least and see what they can do from there. From a Liverpool point of view, as you say, dominating possession, spreading the ball around, but it's not really at pace at the moment, is it, from Liverpool? It's a steady start from them. They're just probing and looking for the opportunities that might arrive. So
Liverpool in the box, Salah just flicks it, but he's shown too much of that. However, they don't have the ball for long there. Joelinton didn't show well enough there, and there was no out ball really. Jetro Williams running into a blind alley. They fight for the ball. Isaac Hayden does well and wins it. The ball goes out right for Crafty Swede. It's a good challenge there by Divock Origi. I thought he might be playing in the middle today, but it does look like he's been sort of put out left hand side, inside left for Sadio Mane to play the main striker role, which I'm not sure suits either of them particularly that well. The ball held up well by Joelinton, and now they've got a break. Newcastle then on the left-hand side, opportunity. Oh, the pile driver into the back of the net, and Newcastle have grabbed a goal out of nothing really. And wow, that's a massive surprise. But Jetro Williams, the man on loan from Frankfurt, has thumped it into the back of the net.
He has, and you give him the opportunity. You see Jurgen Klopp already on the sideline glaring at his defence because they were slow. It's how they've been throughout the whole of the start. The one thing we said was, yes, they were having the possession, but there was no bite to it. There was no fire there in that Liverpool side yet, and they were easing into the game, but they've got caught out on the break, as we said. Wilhelms just pulls away onto this left-hand side. Alexander-Arnold gets lost. By the time he gets over there, he's not closed him down. It is a stunning finish, there's no question about that from Wilhelms, but Liverpool need to have a look at themselves defensively here. They are a little slow, and they've been caught out on the break.
At Anfield, Newcastle have struck first. Liverpool had all the ball, slow play on a sunny day, but all of a sudden the Magpies got hold of it, and what a thumping drive from Jetro Willems. He picks up the ball, sort of inside left position really. Alexander-Arnold shows him inside. Okay, then I'll go inside. Absolutely levers it with his right foot, drives into the roof of the net, past Adrian, giving him no chance. 1-0 Newcastle.
As we say, a fabulous finish, but again you saw Alexander-Arnold getting dragged into the middle to try and cover around Joe Linton when he didn't really need to be there and get involved. As John says, then that gave him the opportunity, Willems, to come inside because Alexander-Arnold was at the wrong angle, ended up right in front of him, and therefore couldn't really push him out wide as he should have done, take him away from the danger area. And boy, did he finish it in superb fashion into the top corner. Adrian, not a sniff. Wouldn't have mattered who was in goal for Liverpool on that occasion, unless they were swinging from the crossbar in the far corner. They wouldn't have got anywhere near that one. Fabulous stuff then from Newcastle. Just what they needed. It allows them to sit in now and do what the game plan was from Steve Bruce and Steve Agnew on the sideline. It fits in beautifully to how they want to play this game now. Got the opportunity within 10 minutes of the game. Fabulous finish and a wake-up call for Liverpool then as they come forward now. In fact, just seeing a replay again of the goal. Again, Alexander-Arnold gets across. He does, as you said, John, doesn't cut off that inside line at all, doesn't force him out wide, gives him the opportunity and he takes it.
What I love about that is that Willems picks up the ball, 1, 2, 3 touch left foot. No, he's all left foot. And then he did a little sort of a heel drag onto his right. And what a right foot. If that's his swinger, that's not bad, is it? It's not bad at all. Anyway, some bit of minor skirmishing in the middle of the park. And now a long ball forward. Matip's got to do a bit of defending. And if Newcastle, thought that they were... going to struggle today. Well, that goal's certainly given them a fillip, and it's almost like saying, right, okay, game plan is great. Let's catch them on the break. Let's nick a goal. We've already shown we can do it, and it's certainly, giving them something to hang on to. And look at the way that they're playing now, pinging the ball around Newcastle. We're feeling that maybe today could be theirs as the flag goes up, and I just think that Willems, who seems to be furthest forward now, the wing back, got himself just slightly offside, but there's a real ambition, isn't there, there?
Look at the amount of space, though, that Willems has got on that left-hand side. That's why he helped create the goal. Alexander-Arnold's coming inside. Salah is way up front in terms of that in a front three. So there's nothing in between the two of them. Newcastle have identified that as a case of Willems. Well, just go then. There's 3 defenders behind you. Shelvey will drop in behind as well and cover that left-back space if required. So Willems has got free rein down that left-hand side, and he's finding the space. And again, then, if he goes half a yard less in that sense, or is half a yard slower, then the ball is straight through again. Alexander-Arnold is struggling as he comes back across, and from a Liverpool point of view, they've got to get this pinned down.
Yeah, I heard sort of the pundits talking about the game before kick-off, saying that Newcastle would make it very narrow, allowing Liverpool everything out wide. Oh, another thunder shot from Oxlade-Chamberlain this time, and he's driven that just wide. That's their first effort, and I think one thing though, we have to applaud Newcastle's start, but have they, have they just sort of woke Liverpool up? But could it be one of those where all of a sudden Liverpool will be at the races there? As you said though, Steve, it was a rather sedate start from the Reds, dominate possession, but not really zipping the ball around like we're used to seeing from them. And maybe it's a bit of a stick in a hornet's nest at Newcastle with that early goal. Here comes Robertson. firing forward, lays the ball back to Wijnaldum. Well, for many a score prediction has been destroyed now with that Newcastle goal. Steve Adams scoring today, Newcastle. I didn't. I thought they'd be 3-4-0 and comfortable. But anyway, here are Liverpool. If you're going to win a title, you're going to have to fight, and sometimes you're going to have to come from behind. More difficult away from home, but not easy wherever. And Newcastle now something to hang on to as Fabian Schär just clips the ball up the field to nobody particular, and that's an easy pick-up for Van Dijk, and Liverpool go again. So some 13 minutes in, Liverpool 0, Newcastle 1 if you're joining us, and what a goal it was as well. And it just showing that in the Premier League, don't think that you can just allow anybody free rein. It's like they're saying, well, we'll forget about Willems. He's playing left wing back, but we don't think he'll score a goal. He hasn't scored one in the Premier League yet. He hasn't scored a goal for Newcastle yet. Therefore, he's not really a threat, is he? But they didn't take it seriously, the threat from him. Alexander-Arnold sucked in too deep, and then just allowing Willems closer to goal, and so close that he could get a great strike away. Anyway, you live and you learn.
You look again here, how narrow, when Newcastle just have a glimmer of the ball there, how narrow is Alexander-Arnold? He's in the centre circle again. So again, Willems, if he wants to, can move away down that left-hand side. You just want Alexander-Arnold just to come 5 or 10 yards to his right. That's all it is. It's a little tweak, but he's constantly getting pulled into the centre circle because I think he's looking in front of him and saying, well, there's nobody on the left wing as far as Newcastle are concerned. They're sitting deep, so I'll go walkabout. Well, that's lovely, but you're then creating a wide open space for Newcastle to come into.
And every time he comes inside, if you know it's Willems, comes with him. Anyway, Willems now with Alexander-Arnold. He's a little bit wider out. Drop of the shoulder from Mane. He does well there, beats the first man. Alexander-Arnold, can he get it across in? Finds it across the face of the goal. Maybe an opportunity for Liverpool. Wijnaldum has to work it to Oxlade-Chamberlain. Percentage ball from him. And in fact, it's maybe a little bit better, trying a cheeky chip, but it ends up on the roof of the net.
No, I think I'm going with the missed kick one with that one, but it was overhit, John. Looking at the number of players in the centre, as you say, wouldn't put it past Oxlade-Chamberlain for something like that, but I think he's got players on the far post, but I think what he's trying to do is angle it away from the keeper so that it's drifting past beyond the far post. Just gets it wrong and it comes back in. But from a Liverpool point of view, they don't have the players necessarily to attack that kind of ball in the area, so it's got to be something different. It's got to be spread out, but we see it again here. Newcastle ball forward. Alexander-Arnold this time goes inside, heads it away. 10 yards behind him is Willems, waiting for anything that comes in.
Yeah, last season it seemed like leapfrog in the Premier League, didn't it? And if Liverpool do lose this game, it will give Man City a chance to leapfrog them in the table. You don't want to lose ground to the citizens early doors, or allow any kind of gap to develop. The other side around, Liverpool come back here and they could end up with a 5-point cushion ahead of Man City, albeit they've got a game of course this weekend. But here come Liverpool now with Origi, and he puts a decent looking ball into the box, although fairly easily defended as well. All a host of Magpies players back now. As soon as they get the ball back, they're looking to spring with the early ball, but Robertson wins good ball in midfield. He drives forward now, looking for Origi. Hand goes up, but he's onside, and now he tries to chip the ball further forward, but it's going to be a corner kick there, and an opportunity then for Liverpool to show what they've got from set piece.
Yeah, Liverpool have been heavy down that left-hand side, haven't they, in the early stages again. So as I said, we've seen the space on the Liverpool right that's potentially available. Liverpool at the moment, the whole game seems to be playing in half the field that's in shadow just in these early stages.
Right then, so the corner kick is driven deep up, goal to heads. Van Dijk gets the first header. Keeper comes, he only gets one fist on that. He's jumping against his own man. Ball breaks back for Liverpool though, and they've got a chance to sling it into the mix. Oxlade-Chamberlain does just that, and then a header, but leaning back, man, he's never going to get enough on that. It's a good attempt, but well wide.
Yeah, he got his head round it, didn't he? But as you say, he's let's have a look, he's 15 yards away from goal, doesn't he? When he gets his head to it, Dubravka should have that covered, unless it's one that happens to spin up towards the far corner. But again, decent ball in from Oxlade-Chamberlain. If that could be more of a flick on towards the far post, then you see an opportunity for Liverpool starting to come.
Yeah, you can see picking up little bits and pieces of play. in the right hand side of midfield. The changes for Liverpool from their Burnley victory are Jordan Henderson and Firmino. And I think they're trading down, quite frankly, albeit Oxlade-Chamberlain's made a decent start. Jordan Henderson played a lot of the a lot of work for England, hasn't he? Which is probably why he's been rested. And for Firmino sat on the bench today. Again, maybe a long journey as we see a long ball forward. Was there a shove in the back there on Joe Linton? The ball comes into the box. In fact, it didn't matter because the flag was up on Almiron in the box there. But again, signs from Newcastle that they've come to play early in the season. However, the season's going to pan out for Newcastle, but they'll be full of hope right now. They've got a goal, they're playing well, they've got a new manager. Those guys who are getting the chance today may not have got the chance last season under Benitez, so there'll be some dead happy, some new boys. Willem's got his first goal, Joe Linton, new into the team. So lots of reasons for them to think that this is their bold new dawn. Anyway, Rigi now on the ball, puts the cross in deep to far post, easy for Dubravka. He comes and makes a nice claim.
Yeah, this Newcastle side looks comfortable in its own skin, which is not something you've been able to say for a while. They're committed to it as John Joe Shelvey tries a rather ambitious strike, shall we say, from around about the halfway line. Spots Adrian drifting a little far forward, perhaps. We haven't seen a replay that showed us where Adrian was. Certainly Shelvey when he picked up possession of the ball, but he looked at it again. He had got a runner down the left-hand side. He only got one. I don't think Adrian was that far out for Shelvey to manage that. We've seen him do something like that before, but that was a bit too ambitious for me. But he did only have one outlet there, but again he ran into space, didn't he, in that central position. There were 6 Liverpool players all round him. Nobody actually came to close him in though. Well,
it looked terrible, but I admire him for that, having a go, and if anybody can, it's him. And I thought Adrian was just far enough off his line for him to try that. For Adrian, that's one of the problems Liverpool have had. They've not kept a clean sheet hardly at all season. Of course, last week they did. But I think that may be the exception that proves the rule out. The Liverpool team this season, they're not tough at the back. And maybe a lot to do with the goalkeeper because he doesn't really allow them to play as far up the field as the centre-backs might like, because he doesn't come out like Alisson. Ball laid back to Dubravka. He's given him a little bit of work to do, but on his right foot should be able to clear his lines. And at the byline he sliced it straight to Robertson. Not a good ball, but neither is it from Robertson. Gives it away to Hayden. Lovely ball on the inside. Robertson fights hard back for it, and then Van Dijk in fact Matip is the man who mops it up, and Liverpool have it back. Pretty dreadful ball from Alexander Arnold, but a bad ball made good now. Origi trying to break the line, but they don't look for him, and Liverpool still have it in the middle of the park. They need a little bit better passing in the middle of the park, don't they? Anyway, we see a ball fired into the box from Robertson. Not a good one. I think Fabinho needs to get on the ball a little bit more. But here they come. Ball rolled to Mane, but he shows too much in midfield, has to fight for it back. Shelvey slides in, but it's Liverpool's ball again with Oxlade-Chamberlain just at the edge. He tries to run through with Jetro Williams, and then he tries to run around Shelvey, but he can't manage either, and that's going to be a free kick.
I don't know what Oxlade-Chamberlain's complaining about. Clear free kick right on the back of him. He even smacked him on the back of the head just to make sure that everybody spotted it as well. So I don't see what the issue is there. He's right over the back of him. Yeah, he can challenge for the ball, but clambering all over. And Shelvey's got every right to be there and put himself in between player and ball. He's not obstructing him. It's a clear foul. But from a Liverpool point of view, he said it's far too narrow at the moment. Everything's through the centre. Newcastle are blocking that off, covering the space. There's nowhere to go for Liverpool at the moment.
At Anfield, Liverpool 0, Newcastle 1. Frustrating for the Reds because they're struggling really. Far too narrow, very slow. They're passing the ball. Fabinho not being on it quite enough. We've seen speculation. Oxlade-Chamberlain a drive from outside the area, well wide. Mane with a header after Oxlade-Chamberlain had put a ball in. But really they're not fizzing the ball around as they might like. So a tough start for Liverpool.
Seen another break forward again. It's an overload left hand side this time in spectacular fashion. If they had stayed on side, Joe Linton perhaps a little lazy, not quite getting himself back on, but there was Atsu there as well. We see a little bit of afters with Adrian and Joe Linton, as well as the former Hoffenheim man keeps the ball and won't let the Liverpool keeper get on with it. But there were 3 players down that Newcastle left again. Oxlade-Chamberlain trying to cover all 3, and then Joe Linton stayed on side. He was clear through. He also had support just behind him, should he have needed it, from Atsu and from Willems as well. So you see where the overload is from Newcastle, and you see what they're trying to do to this Liverpool side. As Matip now picks up possession, Oxlade-Chamberlain seems to be drifting more out onto the right-hand side now, and I just wonder if that's a little bit of a counterbalance to what's happening here from Jurgen Klopp, that he's asked Oxlade-Chamberlain to pull further right and almost give them a right-hand side midfielder, because certainly when they have possession of the ball, Liverpool, he is now there or thereabouts on that side to move forward, but he's also there from a defensive point of view as well, and that's helping keep Willems sweet and keeping him at home most of the time so far.
Yes, right. Just looking at his goal again, what a beauty, and well, the Magpies fans are really enjoying that, as Salah now on the ball. So far being well marshalled, Dummett close to him, and his inability to control that first time round, then he had to turn. Ball goes now with Fabinho, chips a nice looking ball out to Robertson, but again out they come. Kraft then keeping them all honest down that side. Just looking at Newcastle trying to press the ball. Can I do something like Shelby's? I mean, literally, they're all in a line at the minute. Great ball in from Alexander-Arnold, and that's just taken off the head of Divock Origi. Here is Mane into the box. A header comes in, and that's gone just wide. And that's Origi, and he's saying it's taking the touch off Lascelles. I'm not sure about that.
That's better from Liverpool, isn't it? Alexander-Arnold doing what he does well. Lovely ball into the box. He's superbly defended by Lascelles in the first instance, because Origi, as you say, straight behind him to head home, and then again straight back into the box. No waiting from Liverpool. First touch, ball back in again from Mane. There's Origi again with a header, and he's unlucky not to at least get it on target and give Dubravka something to do. So that's sharper from Liverpool. It took 24 minutes to see anything that sharp, but we're finally seeing something from them.
Yeah, so halfway through the game at Anfield, you're listening to Independent Off-Tube Studio commentary. Liverpool 0, Newcastle 1. I'm John Hogan, and Steve Pearson now is going to take us through to half-time.
Thanks, John. And yes, a lively start. The first quarter of the game has zipped by, even though we haven't seen too many chances in front of goal. Newcastle leading by that goal to nil from Willems inside the first 10 minutes. But here come Liverpool again as Salah tries to find some space. Origi on the edge of the box. Wijnaldum rolls it to Robertson on that left-hand side. Newcastle with virtually everybody inside their own box. Great ball over the top to Alexander-Arnold. Great covering as well at the near post from Dummett, who throws himself in to stop that ball from coming back across from Alexander-Arnold. But again, he got space, made the right run. Beautiful ball over the top from Fabinho as well.
Yeah, just enough bodies in there, weren't there? And Dummett then coming across and doing with it. They got him round the back. Maybe he could have dragged that ball into him. Dummett's going to slide on by, isn't he? But yeah, good stuff from Liverpool.
Here's the corner from Alexander-Arnold again. This time it's headed away. So Joe Linton with a bit of defensive work helping out. His back four gets it out of the penalty area, and Liverpool will reset on the halfway line. As Alexander-Arnold picks up possession down the right-hand side, somehow the ball pinballs back to him again a second time, and he plays a long raking ball that finds Salah, left-hand edge of the box, steps inside onto his right foot. Shot is weak, but it's charged down and deflected behind. Had it rolled through to Dubravka. It would have been one of the easier saves of the season for the Newcastle keeper, but as it is, here in his defence have a corner to defend. Again, usual suspects are up from the back. Van Dijk and Matip together in the centre before they split off as the ball comes in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Matip's got a hand round his head. Referee says no, though. A lot of players between referee and the incident as Newcastle try and break, but Liverpool tidy up. And for VAR, just have a quick glance at to see what they can see as the ball came in. The ball chipped over the top again, though, by Liverpool as they continue to attack here with Mane down the right-hand side. He just stumbles and he smacks into the back of Dummett again. It's going to be another free kick. Frustration, I think, from Mane more than anything else as he lost possession.
Right, well, they're going to tell him now what they think of all that. There's a big schmozzle in the box, and I think Lascelles is dragging Matip away. I mean, for me, how much contact there? He's the wrong side of him. He's trying to pin him and haul him down. I think for me that's a penalty. I don't really understand why that wouldn't be given. He's got an arm on his shoulder. He's stopping Matip from getting what he wants out of that. Maybe he's overrun it anyway and he's happy for that. But I think there was enough of a drag from the arm of Lascelles on the shoulder of Matip to give that a penalty. But that's not been given by VAR, and they did have a look.
Yeah, they did have a look at it. Again, it's that clear and obvious error. Is it obvious that he's held back? Maybe not, but I tend to agree with John. I think first instance, first glance at it was now Matip's making a meal of a little bit of contact from Lascelles, but I think as he actually goes to head it, I think Lascelles does have a pull of his shoulder back, and therefore Matip can't head it properly back to where he wants.
Yeah, when you're in the air, it doesn't take that much, does it? I mean, to pull you away from where you want to be or haul you back. And what Lascelles is trying to do is time honoured. You're the wrong side of somebody, so you do whatever you can. You're going to try and anchor them and contact them as much as you like. But break off. What a goal! Wow, what a goal from Mane! Right foot curler. Steve, that was coming, wasn't it?
Yeah, beautiful. It's been a little bit more possession, a lot more zip from Liverpool over the last 10 minutes, which is what we complained about in the first 10 minutes, and it's another fabulous finish. We've seen two superb bits of striking play from Wilhelms for Newcastle, and now from Mane again. Finds himself in space, nobody's covering him, and he takes the opportunity beautifully right up into the top corner. Dubravka, spectator as it spins into the roof of his net.
Well, at Anfield, Liverpool have got one back. They were threatening to do just that. We just saw a VAR potential, a penalty kick for them, but it didn't matter. The ball found itself at the feet of Mane, driving in from the inside left position, and his right foot curling shot right into the top corner of the net gave Martin Dubravka no chance whatsoever. It's one apiece.
We've just seen a replay again of the goal and the reaction to it on the sideline. I think there's a little bit of bite between these two benches at the moment. Liverpool's coaches all seem to be heading the Newcastle way to celebrate rather than towards the Kop end, which is where Liverpool are attacking at the moment in this first half. But it's Liverpool have another corner now, then trying to turn the screw on this Newcastle side. Again, referee just wants the players 10 yards back from Newcastle on the far side of the field. Van Dijk, Wijnaldum, Matip. Was a block off by Wijnaldum in the penalty area. It should have been a free kick really there, but referee didn't spot it as the ball comes in again. It's headed up in the air. Dubravka will allow it to go. Who on earth did that come off last? Well, the referee I think has given the benefit of the doubt to the defence on that occasion as the ball came in. Yeah, it might have come off the back of the defender. Mane was in there as well. I think he was already out anyway as it came in. I think there was a clear block off by Wijnaldum, playing a little bit of the tight end role there rather than anything else as he took out one of the defenders and allowed Van Dijk to go and attack the ball. It led to nothing on this occasion. The ball is cleared downfield by Dubravka. And Liverpool now looking a lot more assured with themselves after half an hour. Liverpool 1, Newcastle 1 as Van Dijk strides up over halfway on the left hand side. Slow it down again. Just see a graphic on our screens that says that Sadio Mane has now scored 17 in the Premier League in 2019. Only Sergio Aguero with the edge on him on 18. We'll see him and hear him on this service later on tonight, of course, when Manchester City head off to East Anglia to face Norwich as Liverpool come forward again down the left. Wijnaldum trying to get in there, but the challenge comes in again from Fabian Schär over on that far side. But again, Newcastle are there in numbers, but again they have to give away the corner kick, and it's starting to build, isn't it, slowly but surely from this Liverpool side.
Well, not even that slowly anymore, Steve. They're laying siege, aren't they? We just thought were they poking the hornet's nest with that early goal. We've seen a reaction from Liverpool, and they've built it up, got the equaliser. Now it looks like they're going to go on. Maybe we're going to get that comfortable victory at the minute. Newcastle just sat too deep.
Yeah, they are inviting the pressure on. They're dealing with most of what Liverpool are throwing at them again. The corner was cleared easily, so was the resulting cross from Liverpool as well. Some good work from Salah, chasing back towards his own halfway line to stop Shelvey from getting away down the right hand side that time for Newcastle. And Liverpool back in possession with Oxlade-Chamberlain on the right hand side. His first touch is a little heavy, but he rolls it down to Origi. There's plenty of time here for Liverpool, although that's a poor ball by Fabinho. Gets a lucky break as the ball spins off Joe Linton up towards Matip. Liverpool again back in possession through the centre as Van Dijk strides forward, has a shot from 35 yards which just manages to stay on the Kop.
Yeah, and the other feature of that was right by the side of the midfield when he took that shot was Alexander Arnold. And it does make you wonder what they're trying to do today. I mean, you know, they didn't realise that that they conceded a goal by that route of him, you know, coming in. I can't quite understand it. I think maybe they just think, right, okay, we're, you know, it doesn't matter quite what they do. We're going to do our own thing, and you know, we'll outscore them today. It seems like they're sort of ignoring that early goal.
Yeah, they don't seem to have changed themselves. So Chamberlain for about 5 minutes or so had come out more onto the right hand side, but now that Willems is sitting deeper along with the rest of the defence, they seem to have decided that they don't need that cover. Although as they pick up possession again with Matip, Oxlade-Chamberlain drifts out well onto the right hand side, and Atsu will just wander across to try and cover him. It drops instead to Alexander Arnold, who plays the first time ball towards the penalty area. It's headed away up in the air, more than away so far from Lascelles, but Newcastle do have possession back, and the goal scorer Willems though gives the ball away straight away. Poor ball across midfield finds Wijnaldum. He will pick up possession again in a deeper position inside the Newcastle half as Matip strides forward this time. Long ball towards the far post. Looks like a push by Mane, I should say, as Matip's ball came in. Referee again happy for play to continue.
Well, that's good, isn't it? Because I think VAR would have sorted that out. You know, had he brought that ball down, Mane, which he should have done really, and if he's giving him a shove and thumps into the back of the net, it's going to get ruled out. So one way or another, you know, I'm glad they didn't have to stop anything there, but it all sorted itself out.
There's the ball picked up by Matip again, about 10 yards or so inside the Newcastle half. Central position upfield towards Salah, who tries to poke it into the path of Oxlade-Chamberlain, but Newcastle are back there in numbers as Shelvey clears. It comes off Joe Linton. Will it run out of play off Atsu? It will. Just bounces away from the midfielder on that left hand side. So we see Jurgen Klopp again, who was next to the ball as it rolled out, screaming out the instructions from his technical area. 12 minutes to go in this first half. So here come Liverpool again down the left hand side. Mane has to step back inside, chips a ball in towards the near post, headed away by Dummett, falls to the feet of Wijnaldum. Not the best pass out wide again, but Mane manages to keep it in play before the challenge comes in on that right hand side from Kraft, and it's out of play for a throw in to Liverpool, about level with the edge of the Newcastle box. Taken short again onto that left hand side for Robertson. He finds Mane. Mane will spread it all the way to Oxlade-Chamberlain, and Liverpool now not worried at all by Newcastle's break, because the gap between the defenders and Joe Linton is too far as a cross comes in from the right hand side from Matip, and by a yard it just manages to go out for a goal kick on the far right hand side. But you look at this Liverpool side now, as you said, they're not worried anymore about Newcastle's attack, because Newcastle have gone 5-10 yards deeper again.
Sometimes you send your team out, you know, we're going to do this and that, and then you do. You know, they scored that early goal. Boris kept up the field, and you know, I think maybe Newcastle might have over-celebrated their goal because they actually got back from the Liverpool bench. But it is what it is. You know, they came with the instructions to have a live, potent threat in the counter-attack, but they've just got sucked back in, suck it in. Maybe that early goal, let's sit back on it then. We've got a goal at Anfield. But you know, that's not the right thing to do, and they gradually drop deeper and deeper and deeper. Just before the goal, I was saying to you, you know, look where John Joe Shelvey he stood, and he stood at the edge of the box. You know, where's the out ball then? You know, and they were virtually in a line. I mean, you could have counted 7 in a line at the edge of that box. You think that's not quite the way to go about it.
Yeah, it's holding up as we see Origi down again. It's the ankle that he twisted a little early on in the game. He's obviously still feeling it. That's given the rest of the players a chance to take a breather, get some water on board and get some further instruction for their managers. Firmino is already shirt on, ready to roll. So it looks like it might be the end of Origi's afternoon already. It's a shake of the head and a grimace from Origi as a couple of his colleagues come across to find out what the situation was. You see again the replay of when he tried to keep the ball in play, and just a little twist as he went in. Wasn't any contact with the defender at all as we see that replay, John.
No, right. I mean, he the leg, his right leg sort of gives underneath him. It's off the turf. He slides, and then you're hyperextending your knee because of that. And that looks like he's run his race, which is a shame. I think he's played quite well today so far, but you know what, they're not going to lose anything. And in fact, because Firmino plays in the middle, I think that he's more natural. Mane scored, didn't he, from inside left, but they've had him playing centre forward today. He goes to his more natural position, and Firmino can play through the middle.
Yeah, they have their three strikers on who love each other and get on so well now. As we saw last time, as Firmino will come on, Mane will be thinking, how many passes am I going to get for the next 10 minutes? Who can I have a whinge at now for the rest of the game, as Liverpool stand 1-1 with Newcastle. And as we said, during that stoppage in play, we did see a replay again of the Liverpool bench celebrating the goal, and they were heading towards the faces of the Newcastle coaches, shall we say, Steve Bruce and Steve Agnew and others on that sideline. And immediately a couple of stewards were straight up, having seen obviously what had gone off, and probably heard one or two words exchanged between the two managers to make sure that they didn't get too close in the end. So a little bit of bite on the sidelines and plenty of bite on the field as well.
Yeah, I guess that there's a lot of baggage that comes with Steve Bruce. We'll just break off. Here come Newcastle, an opportunity, but not for long.
Yeah, he enjoys a goal against Liverpool, doesn't he? Let's be honest.
Yeah, I mean, as an ex-Manchester United player, he's bound to get a warm reception when he arrives at Anfield. Let's couch it like that. So there'll probably not be any love lost, will there?
I don't mind it. Don't mind a bit of that, as long as it doesn't get too physical and right in the faces. I want managers to celebrate. I want somebody to show a bit of passion on the sideline. Don't have a problem with it at all from either benches. Just
I think,
keep your distance and it's fine.
That's it. It's the old Jose Mourinho, isn't it? Celebrating in somebody else's technical area.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
He doesn't like it when it's done to him, though, does he?
No, there's not much space on the sidelines at Anfield, to be fair, is there? It's a little tight out there, but yeah, you can certainly keep away. As Alexander-Arnold chips a ball into the box, not seeing much play at the moment in front of goals. It's all in midfield, bouncing around between the two sides as Liverpool reset now that Origi has gone off and Firmino has come on through the centre. No great surprise in how they've lined up and got themselves ready for the rest of this half. Not too long to go in it, just 6.5 minutes as Van Dijk plays a square ball towards Matip, who's now got plenty of space. Joe Linton dropping on the edge of the centre circle inside his own half as the first line of defence for Newcastle. Wide on the left hand side for Robertson. He finds Mane, who drops in deep now to find space. Oxlade-Chamberlain, poor first touch. Joe Linton steps in, wins possession, does well, holds off a couple of players and then finds Atsu's pushed away from the halfway line by Matip, and Liverpool pick it up again. Good ball through towards Mane. And it's gone in as the ball came in between Mane and Dubravka. Somehow it flicks up in the air again, ends up over the top of the Newcastle keeper, and Mane's there with a simple tap in to make it 2-1 to Liverpool.
Well, of good fortune there perhaps, but what was Dubravka doing? How much did he get at that ball? Got to give credit there to Firmino. He's looking for Mane, isn't he? And he finds him, and somehow it goes through Dubravka, and I'll never know how, but there they go. They've got the lead for the first time in the game. And Anfield, Liverpool have taken the lead, and for the first time in the game with Firmino on, he's always looking for Mane, isn't he? He rolls the ball through to him. Dubravka should come and clean it out, we feel, and I don't quite know how he didn't. He seemed to get there first, didn't get enough on it. Mane flicked it over him, and then with the ball at his mercy, puts it into the back of an empty net for 2-1 Liverpool.
Yeah, just watching the replays again, we'll see a better one now as Dubravka comes out. Yeah, he doesn't quite get to it. I'm not sure whether actually it's a case of Mane just gets a touch on it and that then deflects it off Dubravka's legs or his body rather than his hand, then back onto Mane. It is a little bit of luck as far as Mane is concerned, but it's a great ball through again. Big smiles from him as he gets the pass, obviously, from Firmino. And yeah, a little bit of luck, but I say I'm loath to be too critical of the keeper. Yes, all right, goalkeepers union I accept, but just need to see whether it did get a touch off Mane as well as the two of them came out. He certainly got there at the right pace, Dubravka, but didn't clean it out.
Right, this is what I would say, is that he's looking at Mane rather than looking at the ball.
Yeah, that's what I'm not sure about. If he's doing that, then the fault lies with the keeper. If Mane does get a little flick on it and it knocks it away from his hands, there's not a lot the keeper can do about it. He needs a bit of luck for it to come back off him. So
listen, I understand why he's looking at him, because he don't want to die.
Well,
do you know what I mean?
There is that as well. Yeah.
If you get a knee in your temple from that range, and you potentially could die. But also, this is football. You've got to be braver than that. He's got to come, make sure he deals with the ball. And whatever's coming his way, elbows, knees, he's got to forget about it and just get the job done. So I think it's very disappointing there from Dubravka's point of view.
Yeah, the only thing I could see is his hands are up towards his face. The ball seems to hit him somewhere around the elbows and the middle, which is a long way away
if
from
he's concentrating
where it
on that
comes
ball,
out.
yeah.
Absolutely,
yeah.
yes. It's whether has he been distracted or has he been deflected in that sense, and it's difficult to tell. So, but credit to Mane, he's in there, he's making a nuisance of himself, and sometimes you get that little bit of luck as a striker, and he gets it there. But Liverpool certainly dominated possession. I wouldn't quite go as far as to say they are full value for a lead in terms of chances created, but they have certainly dominated as Newcastle have gone further and further back. And now the dilemma for Newcastle is, what do you do now? I think it looks like they're going to sit in at least to half time and then try and see how they reset during the half-time break, as Wijnaldum picks up possession again for Liverpool, centre of the Newcastle half, and it's training ground stuff now from Liverpool. 3 minutes to go to the break. Van Dijk has possession just inside the Magpies half. Here's Mane again coming deep. He's lively, not surprisingly. Probably knows now he's more or less certain to get a full 90 minutes, or the majority of it, now that Liverpool have had to use an attacking substitution already, as Mane tries to flick it through the centre. It's cleared away by Shelvey. Straight to the feet though of Matip, who looks up. Goes left this time for Van Dijk. A little bit of tip-tap from Liverpool just at the moment. They'll find Alexander-Arnold, looking to make it 43 league matches at Anfield without defeat, this Liverpool side. And also looking for a record in terms of the number of consecutive wins and games, having scored a couple of goals in them as well in this for this Liverpool side.
Yeah, that, I mean, they are a machine. Clearly, an early spanner was thrown in the works. What Liverpool have done: take the spanner out, restart the machine, gone again. Sometimes you're going to concede. You think, great, we'll concede early, that's fine. We've got plenty of time to put it right. If anything, the players who started that sedately and maybe overconfident, arrogant perhaps from Liverpool, but they weren't really at it early, as you pointed out. They were a bit too sedate, and after you clawed, the passing wasn't sharp, was it? And maybe they just needed that to spur them on it, and it certainly has.
Yeah, it has, as they try and break away again down the right-hand side. This time Newcastle on the attack. Almiron just gone a little bit too early. Flag went up again. We've seen that 3 or 4 times from Newcastle in the first half. You see the stats coming up. 3 shots on target from both sides, 3 goals. So everything that's been on target so far has found its way into the back of the net for either side.
Well, the thing is, for Newcastle, you think, are they calling John Joe Shelby's effort a shot? Because really,
they must have done.
There was the goal, and that was it. So it's all right, smash and grab, but you've got to do more than that, don't you? It does smack of a lack of ambition, really. They scored their goal, thought they could just shut up shop, but they're still way too deep, and here come Liverpool again. Yeah,
there's Oxlade-Chamberlain right hand side, lifts it into the box. It flicks off a defensive head rather in Lascelles, finds its way all the way to Robertson, almost down towards the left hand corner flag, into the feet of Wijnaldum. Robertson's gone past him, but Wijnaldum couldn't turn quick enough to give it back to the Scottish fullback, so he's forced out of the area on this occasion, but easily keeping possession. He wants somebody to give him an option further back at the moment, and in the end the only man is Matip on the halfway line, as he will roll one onto that right hand side for Alexander Armstrong. Liverpool will, looks like, end the half with possession in the Newcastle half. 3 minutes though of stoppage time to be played. We've only just ticked into it as well, as Van Dijk has it again for Liverpool. Right footed ball into the box, headed away by Lascelles, flicks off the head of Hayden, who's been largely anonymous in this first half. Had the ball at feet as Alexander-Arnold puts one across, dropped towards Wijnaldum on the edge of the box, but going across field rather than towards goal. He puts in a shot right footed, but no pace on it. Easy save.
Never really caught hold of that, did he? Just one of those scuffed shot, trying to give Dubravka the eyes and just hit it on the inside of him, but he never really got hold of it. For Newcastle, I think they started the match off ever so well, didn't they? But they've been really too sedate. There is a foul in the middle of the park here, as we see that Hayden was clearly caught late there, and maybe set piece provides a bit of an opportunity before the break just to do something. But you can be impressed with the first 10 minutes, but unfortunately a game of football lasts just a little bit longer than 10 minutes, so they're going to have to recharge their batteries and go again after the break.
Mane just caught himself a little bit as he went into the back of the heels of Hayden. He's just hobbling for a moment, but said not long to go to the break as Newcastle play a free kick, but they play it short towards Shelby, change the angle of attack in towards the penalty area. Matip and Cher are tumbling all over each other, and in the end the Liverpool defender is fortunate to see the ball spin back to his goalkeeper Adrian, who will get it upfield for Robertson, who looks up, realises there's not really too many players in front of him, so checks back before finding Firmino. And now we're back to training ground stuff from Liverpool again. They've gone back to walking pace here just to try and ease their way through towards the half-time break, leading by 2-1. A warm afternoon as well in the sunshine, predominantly across the field. So Liverpool not wanting to expend any more energy than they need to, having got themselves back in front now. From a Newcastle point of view, how do you see the reset at half-time, John?
I don't know, it's very difficult, isn't it? I think it's more about attitude, really, and about where they want to play. This formation could work, but they've got to be a lot further up the field, don't they? They just sat back too deep.
As Firmino rolls it out to Robertson again, maybe one last chance for Liverpool here before the half-time breaks. It's fought inside towards Oxlade-Chamberlain, thinks about a shot, but he's closed down quickly. Newcastle will try and break with Almiron down the right-hand side. Joe Linton's there, but there's 3 defenders around as well, so no obvious outlet for the Newcastle man as he ends up in a little bit of a cul-de-sac on that right-hand side. Liverpool tidy up.
Yeah, brilliant that. I mean, Almiron holds the ball beautifully. He's looking up, he said, where are you? We are. Any bit of help now would do. Nobody. Not one man jack. I mean, Joe Linton's there, but you know he's marked. He's got 3 around him. When he looks back, there's no help from Kraft. He needed to do. They need to do a little bit better. Anyway, that's it. That's half time at Anfield. At Anfield at the break it is. Liverpool 2, Newcastle 1. Newcastle scored first, and it was a brilliant goal. On just 6 minutes, Jethro Williams was allowed a bit of space out in the inside left position, cut inside onto his right foot, an absolute thunderbolt. Then Newcastle were guilty of playing a little bit too deep, which allowed Mane in for a brilliant curling shot for the equaliser on 27 minutes. And then with Firmino on the field for the injured
Everybody knows that I'm breaking down. Everybody knows I ain't faking now. Everybody knows my heart's vacant now. Yeah, she hates me now, I made mistakes but now I don't ever wanna be alone. I don't really ever feel at home. On my own, in the zone, that's the only way I know. Feeling low, about to blow back up. Here I won't ever let the doubt creep in. Gotta pop a couple more aspirin. I don't think I'll ever let you in. Easier to break it off best friends. I don't really understand myself. I don't really understand, need help. I don't wanna be left on the shelf. Couldn't even hear me if I yelled.
It's so cold outside, I'm alone, I'm alright. It's so cold outside, I'm alone, I'm alright. It's so cold.
wanna break down. Always feel like I could break now, but I never let it take me to that place now. I won't ever let my thoughts get away now. I got better things to do, picking fate now. I just wanna be the best, call me great now. I don't know if I'm okay or insane now. I remember better days on the playground, hoping I can find my way even when I'm feeling down. I fight, even when I don't know what is right. I'ma pick a side, and I'ma take pride. I will decide my fate, and I will never let them tell me who I am. If you try to shake me, I'll be damned. Planet on the ground is where I stand. Never give up, that was always the plan.
It's so cold outside, I'm alone, I'm alright. It's so cold outside, I'm alone, I'm alright. It's so cold.
Newcastle 1 is where we're at after the half-time break. Newcastle will need to play a little bit more football and a little bit further forward if they want to make progress. I'm John Hogan, joined by Steve Pearson. I guess the first half gave us what we expected, bar that early Newcastle goal.
Yeah, it did. As I said before kick-off, I wasn't necessarily in the camp that said that Newcastle wouldn't score at some point during the afternoon, but I expected Liverpool to have too much for them as they try and get a long ball over the top towards Mane again, but it's a little bit too much this time and rolls straight through to Dubravka. But yeah, from a Newcastle point of view, you say they've got to come out of the shell a little bit, haven't they? The first half, and the reason they got the goal was because they were willing to throw Wilhelms forward down that left-hand side. They were willing to take a chance. Once they went in front, those chances disappeared. Liverpool took control, pushed them further and further back. But early sign in this second half already is Newcastle are much higher upfield, not just when they've got the ball but when they haven't. So they have gone 10 yards further forward and it's creating opportunities already.
Here's a chance, Joe Linton into the box. He's got the overlap, a real opportunity here, and a block by Robertson. Well, that was some good sharp play there. Was that Kraft at the edge of the area, coming in with the right foot shot, just as you said it. You know, players up the field, all of a sudden you can create. It's a lovely little back header, isn't there? Joe Linton does the right thing and lays it off to the Swede. Kraft with the shot blocked away, but already Newcastle at the races. They've got a corner kick, so yeah, chance here. And John Joe Shelby about to take the corner kick. He's got plenty of targets, 3 centre backs in there if you like. Ball to the far post and up go the heads, but in the end the man mountain Van Dijk is too strong. And the outball is good as well. Mane a chance to run tight to the touchline, and Dummett makes it even tighter and holds him at bay. But it's much better there from Newcastle. Well, like you said, it's just a numbers game, isn't it? Throwing bodies up the field. If you've got an attack or an outball where you've got bodies to aim, that's much better. We're looking at Shelby running somewhere near the halfway line rather than at the edge of the box where he was for most the entirety of the first half. But you know, that maybe just allows Liverpool to play their natural game and play around them a bit more comfortably. Anyway, Fabinho's ball finds an offside player in Oxlade-Chamberlain coming back. The flag had gone up. So a very different game in the second half, provided that Newcastle don't just after about 10 minutes just drop back or get pushed back, which could happen to them.
Yeah, it certainly can, but as you said, we'd identified Shelby as not a problem in himself, but part of the problem of being so deep. Therefore the rest of the midfield was lined up alongside him, which meant there was no gap between defence and midfield. Great when you just try to keep Liverpool at bay, but as soon as they find spaces or Newcastle get the ball, there's no outlet then, there's no relief from that constant wave of attack. But there is now a gap between the two, as you say. It does open up more opportunities for Liverpool, but there's got to be that gamble from Newcastle here now for at least the next 10-15 minutes.
It does, as Robertson puts a good ball into the box. An opportunity, what an effort from Wijnaldum. Wow, on the half volley there, flicked it up. I'm not sure Dubravka had that covered, and it ends up just about on the roof of the net. It's a good opportunity, that.
Yeah, Dubravka might as well be sat in the stand behind his goal with the rest of the Newcastle supporters, because he's nowhere near that one at all. It's lovely play from Wijnaldum, isn't it? Great first touch, and then, as you say, he sees the opportunity towards the far side, just lifts it up, just gets too much on it, but it's literally a few inches above the crossbar as Dubravka gets there. But again, there's that space, isn't it? You know, they pick up a little bit of space 20 yards from goal, find the ball through, and Wijnaldum running from deep is running into a seam in between Newcastle defenders as well. So it's impressive stuff from Liverpool in these early stages of the second half, now that they've weathered the initial push forward from Newcastle.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, you know, we're sort of asking Newcastle to hold a shape, but you know, that might inspire Liverpool to greatness and provide lots more opportunities for them. But it certainly makes it a more interesting game than, you know, wave after wave of attack, relentless Liverpool attack, you know, onto the rocks of that Newcastle defence, all sat at the edge of their box, you know, and Newcastle still keeping a shape. We see that. Almiron, Atsu, Joelinton just about still in the Liverpool half, but Liverpool come out now, they're pressing them back. Wijnaldum just shadowed deep from midfield there, and so Liverpool having to pass the ball a bit better. But I think since the goal went in, you know, that was the wake-up call Liverpool needed. Is Salah, little turn from him, gets him away from Willems. into midfield. A good ball from Firmino, little heel, an opportunity maybe for Oxlade-Chamberlain, but Willems reads that really well. He's able to go back and defend. Matip hooking a ball around Joe Linton and fighting for it in the middle of the park, though. Brings down Isaac Hayden. I think that was an obvious foul. Ball just got away from the Cameroonian there, and he, well, so typical. You lose the ball, you end up lunging in, don't you?
Yeah, I think Matip's making the point that he was being held back a bit by Atsu, but then he puts the foul in. We've seen one or two of this from Liverpool players so far this afternoon, haven't we? Oh, it's definitely not a foul, it's definitely not a foul. We see a nice little lunge from Fabian Schär as well that we'd missed in one of the earlier attacks, just being shown on a replay. He just about connects with Mane, and if he connects with him properly, Schär's probably heading off towards the showers.
I tell you what happens there is that Mane is able to hurdle him. But shouldn't that be a yellow card anyway? I mean, there's an intent to break his ankle there. He's off the ground. He's not in control. Anyway, we see a cross from the right-hand side, and then Newcastle trying to make something work between Atsu and Joe Linton. They can't. Shelby turns, though. But Fabinho reads that turn. He's able to block it off. But Newcastle back on the ball now. And maybe an opportunity for them with Schär. Looking to his right-hand side, finds Almiron in loads of space. An opportunity then, slings the ball in. It's a real poor ball. I think Adrian coming out there to claim he might just have left a leg in there, but it doesn't matter because nobody's doing anything about that. Oh, there's Oxlade-Chamberlain trying to thread the through ball there, which would have been a beauty had he managed it, but not quite. And Newcastle now fighting for the ball. Willems slings it out to the right hand side. Maybe an opportunity for Almiron. Turns inside of his marker. Fabinho, he runs away from him. Finds a good ball for Joe Linton. Holds the ball up and gets it out of his feet. It's a bit better this as we see a shot, but blocked away at source. Van Dijk who just shrugs. Man mountain there, and yeah, they couldn't find a way around him. But it's much better from Newcastle when they're going forward.
There's one or two players that would have been in hospital for a week after deflecting that one away. Van Dijk, as you say, puts his head up, flicks it away, shrugs his shoulders and says, yeah, that's easy enough. And at the other end of the field, we started to see the game spread, haven't we? As we already talked about, great break from Liverpool. And then the ultimate irony is Salah complaining that somebody didn't pass to him down the right-hand side as he went in towards the penalty area after a couple of weeks ago. But it was the right ball. Liverpool went the wrong way on that occasion, trying to thread the eye of a needle. Otherwise, there could have been another good opportunity. But much better game for the viewer in this second half. Both sides willing to throw players forward, and it's what we want to see from the game.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think we're watching one or two players creep that little bit further forward. Makes it exciting as we see Newcastle playing out from the back. Fabian Schär is a good ball player, but this time can't find Joe Linton. Liverpool able to turn away from the next challenger through Robertson. Goes back to his keeper. Just for the moment then, they've had to go back to Adrian, who has not seen that much of the ball. But again, Almiron, Joe Linton holding a line much further up, but then they leave a gap, and Wijnaldum steps into the gap, picks it up. Robertson then to Mane. Inside his own half, stabs it back for the former Newcastle man, Wijnaldum. And now with Matip, and out to the right-hand side, an opportunity. And Oxlade-Chamberlain. That's Salah ahead of him. Again, Liverpool sort of at walking pace, which is a bit disappointing, really. I know they have the lead and they have the ball, but they were playing the ball this slowly in the first half when they conceded, and maybe a warning sign here that they're not quite at it again, seemingly taking a breather. I say that, they're playing one or two touch football, but the ball's not exactly fizzing around, as we see Alexander-Arnold had not had a particularly good game. Miscontrols the ball out on the right hand side. Then it's contested. Joe Linton does well, and Atsu flying now out on the left hand side. Oxlade-Chamberlain sticks with him. We haven't seen much of Atsu as an attacking force today, and he gets past his man. Could put a good cross in to the far post. An opportunity, a chance for a shot, blazed over the top by Kraft. It's the second chance for the Swede in this second half, and he's blown it.
Great opportunity again. We see another full-back coming forward as Wilhelms did in the first half and got the opportunity, and again he wanders into space where there's nobody around at all. Robertson's got dragged into the centre to support his two central defenders. Kraft running into 30 yards of space. His first touch is the one that lets him down. Doesn't mean he's got it under control as defenders come across to try and cover, and he ends up kind of hacking at the shot rather than having a simple opportunity. But again, it shows the space behind this Liverpool defence, doesn't it? Full-backs do have a tendency to go walkabout. There's no cover in front of them at all.
Those Newcastle wing backs today, Willems has scored and Kraft should have scored. You know, and Liverpool are not learning a lesson off this, are they? And I think, I'd hate to say a tactical masterclass from Steve Bruce, but he's certainly got something right, hasn't he, with those two guys? If only Kraft could have found the touch that would have let him apply the coup de grace there, but he never did. So, it's still 2-1 at Liverpool, and they're still on the ball pretty much. Like we said, you know, it's weird, isn't it? When they pass sedately and what have you, it just seems to be ahead of Newcastle chance. But here we see an opportunity. The ball fired in at the near post. Wow, it's a right old shot from Alexander-Arnold. He said he was having a poor game, but he gets his shot away there and he goes dead close.
Yeah, his turn to find space as well, isn't he? Behind Atsu, doesn't track him well enough and ends up 5 yards behind him. And this time Dubravka does get a bit of luck. The shot comes in, hits him on the right foot, spins away between his legs and out of play for a corner rather than ending up in the back of the net. But it does give Alexander-Arnold another set piece.
He does. He drifts it to the far post. Salah's there, gets an opportunity, cuts inside onto his right. Not as clean as he would have liked there. Anyway, Fabinho playing his part today. 2 little balls there, nearly 2 assists. And played Alexander-Arnold in as he did Mane in the first half. As we see, loved to disguise, past to find Mane at the edge of the box. Van Dijk's in there right now as the ball trimmed to the far post. Oh, Firmino's going to head that one in. Great defending in the end by Shah, and that will be a corner kick.
Yeah, we've seen it a couple of times from Newcastle in the first half. Here again, lovely ball in from that right-hand side again from Alexander-Arnold. Just lifts it into the right space, but there's Shea just to flick it away before Firmino has the simple finish. See Firmino already nodding the head down to make the motion to have the header into the corner because he thinks he's going to get it, but again Shea is there and it's headed away, but it's another corner kick, and again we're into this cycle of pressure for this Newcastle defence.
Yeah, they laid a bit of a siege, did Liverpool, before getting their 2 goals in the first half, but this game's much better second half, much more open and even as Salah left-footed to the far post. It's a free header at that far post, but the ball breaks for Shelby, thumps it up into the air. And when that ball goes out, we'll have our next recap. But ball didn't go out just yet. Joe Linton then he moves around Fabinho, leaves him for dead. And then it's Van Dijk, wrecking ball in the middle of the park. Wins that ball. Lovely spin and a turn by Firmino. The ball to Salah, not quite as good. And Newcastle able to clear their lines. Only as far as Robertson, who stepped into the middle of the park now. Mane, left-hand side. Terrible ball from him. And now an opportunity, but it looks like Joe Linton was probably offside. The ball goes out. We'll have that recap. At Anfield, a very exciting second half. It's still Liverpool 2, Newcastle 1, but real chances for Newcastle. They've all come into shape with the right wing back Emil Kraft. He found himself up with the ball at his feet and was blocked off by some good defending by Andrew Robertson for the first shot, but his second was absolutely in an acre of space, denied by poor first touch, really his chance to do what Willems had done in the first half. Newcastle holding a shape much higher up the field is giving them a real chance in this second period.
Liverpool will have possession with Wijnaldum back inside the Newcastle half. Everybody apart from Joe Linton behind the ball now as they spread it out onto the right hand side where Salah pops up again, looking for a bit of space now away from the penalty areas. Firmino is the main focal point for Liverpool through the centre. Came on a substitute, remember, for Origi. Wasn't on from the start, the Brazilian, but he's on now as Mane has possession. Left hand edge of the penalty area, down towards the byline, tries to lift one in but gets too much on it in the end, and it just drifts behind harmlessly for a goal kick to Dubravka, who will have a bit of breathing space and doesn't exactly rush to get the ball back into play. His defence have been hard worked over this first 14 minutes of the second half. So far as bending a little but not breaking. So you have possession with Dubravka to clear this one downfield.
Right then, so it is the Liverpool 2, Newcastle 1. We've hit the hour mark, and well, it's been a much more exciting second half as Mane picks the ball up. It's chipped over the top but too deep, and that's easy for Dubravka. He comes out. Willems with a long ball up top. Nice turn by Atsu this time, but well, he tries to cut inside Matip, and in the end he ends up fouling him. I would say that Atsu's not really having the effect that he would like in this game. He put that one good ball, didn't he, for Kraft, But for most of the time, he's struggling a little bit, I think.
Yeah, and I think first half he was a victim of where Newcastle played, wasn't he? Because it was so compact, that means he didn't then have the space to get the ball. There wasn't the outlet balls for him to go then and attack down that left-hand side to give him the opportunities that he would have liked. He's had to come in a little more central now, but now that he's a little further forward, he's just finding one or two glimmers of opportunities. But and Newcastle just seem to have slightly reverted to form again. Shelvey's gone a little further back, hasn't he? 5 yards again is making a big difference for this Newcastle side.
Right then, here is Robertson. Good cutback from him, but Shelvey's the first man onto it, and he hammers that ball clear. So Liverpool 2, Newcastle 1. Newcastle making a good account of themselves the second half. You know, scored early in the game the first half, but then sat back too deep. His second half have held the shape, have created opportunities. But still Liverpool coming forward, and there's a good header there by Firmino, and that's well saved by Dubravka, but it's a decent opportunity. This good ball in, good header.
Yeah, another one of those, a little bit like Mane had in the first half, but this time Firmino was attacking the ball a little more from the angle of his run, gets it on target, does what he can do to at least make Dubravka make the save, but never going to fly into the net. But again, it's that little ball in, isn't it? The player coming from slightly deeper from an attacking position, getting on to the end of it, and this Newcastle defence, because it does sit so deep, then can't attack that ball properly as the players come in.
Like sitting ducks, aren't they? Waiting for somebody to attack the ball. But in the end, it kind of worked out. Emil Crafty Swig gives the ball away. He's not having a great game, is he? There's Robertson then over the halfway line, looking for the return ball, gets it, and then he fires it forward. Salah, can he straighten up now? He's looking for a killer ball, but I don't think that Oxlade-Chamberlain really gave him a great angle there. You need something a little bit wider. Anyway, Liverpool win it back. Firmino now into the box, an opportunity. His cutback allows Salah a shot, but that's blocked by Lascelles. And so again, Newcastle coming under massive pressure right now.
Yeah, strength in numbers again from Newcastle, wasn't it, rather than anything else. Firmino allowed to play the ball across, but just so many black and white shirts in the centre, there wasn't going to be a clear opportunity for anybody from Liverpool on this occasion. His shot was blocked, but again, it's now just fancy flicks and stuff, trying to create something special.
And Liverpool again parked at the edge of the area. The ball comes in, it's not particularly a good one. Fabinho then tries to mop up, and he does just that, heads it away from Joe Linton. Van Dijk, nice ball to Robertson. He is able to find Wijnaldum, former Newcastle man. There's Firmino now, lovely flick over the top for Robertson, puts him in on goal, almost through the legs of the keeper, not quite. How did he save that? And what great play from Firmino as well.
Beautiful, wasn't it? We just talked about little flicks that are starting to come in, because that's what they need. The space is so narrow around this Newcastle defence. We see it again there from Robertson. Again, we talked about the lack of luck that Dubravka had, perhaps with the goal from Mane. He's had a couple there, though. Again, that one flicks off a heel and spins across goal, but credit to him, spreads himself, makes the save.
Yeah, he does pretty well there as the corner kick comes in. I tell you what, I mean, you can't underestimate the effect that Firmino's having on this game. You know, just little bits of subtlety and skill, the ability to pick a pass. He's already got one assist. You know, he played Trent Alexander-Arnold in, he's had a header at goal, he's allowed Robertson there an opportunity that most players would not have been able to find him. As Oxlade-Chamberlain tries a mazy dribble into the box, but he's shown too much of that ball to the rear guard. Shaw does remarkably well and clears his lines.
But again, he's clearing it into nothing, isn't he? There's nothing there for Newcastle. It's you know, a few seconds before anybody appears on screen in terms of Almiron and Joe Linton getting forward. We saw it again 3 or 4 times. Newcastle clearing the lines from inside the penalty area. Ball drops 20 yards out. 2 Liverpool players there, nobody in a black and white shirt, because they've all gone back into the penalty area, and there is no outlet for this Newcastle side. And again, we've now reverted to type, nearly 20 minutes into the half.
It took a long while for that to happen, but Liverpool have gradually worn away at them and have pushed them back. They've pushed them back by virtue of good play. And here they go again, ball rolled to the edge of the area. Salah gets it out of his feet, Mane holds it for a long time, and then Oxlade-Chamberlain with an opportunity. The cutback then comes from Firmino, but in the end, although he does well, that ball is hiked away by the Newcastle rear guard. Good take by Joe Linton, brilliant back heel. Actually tries to drag it with him, he can't do that, and now we're stepping up Fabinho. Here come Liverpool again, driving forward. Oxlade-Chamberlain, he dribbles dribbles this way and that, getting past Isaac Hayden, and then Robertson just puts his foot in the ball, finds Fabinho, slows it down, settles it down for the Reds. Coming forward again then, and having pushed Newcastle back, looking for the give and go at the edge of the area. This time Firmino gets the ball caught in his feet. Lovely ball from Shelby to Almiron, and they've got the counter attack on now. But where's the support again? You know, Atsu is just stood waiting for it. Nobody making a forward run. Almiron did. Nobody finds him. You know, they're disjointed in what they do.
Yeah, and Liverpool's two central defenders are playing it well as well, aren't they? They're just standing either side of Joe Linton and saying, OK, there's nowhere that you can go for a start. There's nobody else to support you. As you say, Atsu was standing then because the attack had kind of gone past him, hadn't it, with Almiron. Those three are then totally detached from anybody else in the rest of the team, so there is no outlet for Newcastle at the moment, either out wide or through the centre.
Let's have a bit of a recap now before we hand over to Steve to take us through to half time. We'll just wait for when that ball goes next out of play. Looks like we may have found our opportunity as the ball does go out. I think it might be a goal kick anyway. We'll just break off for the time being. At Anfield, still Liverpool 2, Newcastle 1. The Reds haven't quite shaken off the Magpies just yet, but they have created one or two half chances the second half. We've seen a Wijnaldum half volley on the roof of the net. Firmino, little ball into Alexander-Arnold. His shot was pushed around the post. Firmino's header was straight at Dubravka, and Firmino again with a bit of Brazilian brilliance found Robertson with a little a scoop flick. And Robertson's shot was saved by the heel of Dubravka as well. Almiron's on his way. He has been replaced. It's still 2-1.
As Almiron comes off the field. In fact, there's a couple of changes. I thought it was just Mutu who was going to come on. Shimina Mutu is one of the substitutes, but there's also going to be a second change as well for Newcastle. Like it was Javi Manquillo who is coming on. Yes, it was, and it's Kraft who will come off, who, as we said, has had a couple of opportunities but hasn't done particularly well, particularly going forward from the right back spot. And that great opportunity as the throw-in comes in from Newcastle into the area, headed away by Matip. Shelby hacks it back into the area. It's headed away by Wijnaldum. Shot again on the edge of the box from Newcastle is cleared away, and they have to go back all the way to the halfway line to Lascelles. There's a neat ball towards Manquillo down this right-hand side. Joe just goes in front of him but goes offside, and then he's still offside when the ball finally comes through, and that's a bit of a frustration. But Newcastle win it back straight away and can attack forward again here with Robertson before it eventually finds its way to Firmino on this left hand side. He'll step inside on this occasion, looking for the run of Salah. A little push on the defender by Salah. It will be a free kick against the Egyptian. No great surprise there. The referee just a little nod of the head and goes, yes it was, and you know it was on this occasion. So it will be a free kick to Newcastle deep inside their own half, but Manquillo and Mutu already getting involved, raising their game and the pace of the game as far as Newcastle are concerned as soon as they come onto the field. A long clearance downfield from Dubravka on this occasion onto that left hand side when Atsu wins the header. Wilhelms makes a real mess of trying to head it forward on that occasion, and Liverpool can now break through the centre as Mane will pick up possession from a challenge in front of him. Mane heads off down the right hand side, needs some support behind him. They're finding it for the moment, and the challenge comes in from Hayden, and it will be a free kick to Liverpool down their right hand side. See again, yeah, pretty obvious there as Hayden came in, caught the ankles of Mane. Mane collapses to the floor, but with every right to do so, as Liverpool win a free kick on their right hand side then. Just over midway inside the Newcastle half, right hand area. Alexander-Arnold and Salah, the two who are over it for the moment. See again where this comes into as Alexander-Arnold lifts one this time towards the far post. Van Dijk with the header across. Lascelles clears it away from inside the 6-yard box. He's still not out of the penalty area, but Joe Linton does well, holds off Firmino, clears the ball downfield, but then it's back again straight away with Fabinho into the penalty area. Salah tries a flick, it doesn't quite work out, but Van Dijk brings it down inside the box, still up there after the earlier set piece. Here's Firmino, challenge comes in though him from Manquillo, and Newcastle should be able to clear down their right hand side, but again it's a lone furrow from Joe Linton to head the ball back. Oxlade-Chamberlain tidies it up back to his keeper Adrian. again, signs for Liverpool, and again somebody there from Newcastle inside the penalty area to at least deal with it at the last gasp.
Yeah, I mean, they're a goal away from having this game sorted out, and it looks like they're going to do it. I can easily see him scoring another goal in this 20-minute period. They're forcing the pace, aren't they? They've pushed them back. Yes, they've made changes, Newcastle, but I think they're still doing the same thing. Yoshinori Muto just sitting back there. Joe Linton's still the focal point, and he's Mankio better than Kraft. Well, I suspect that he might be, but you know what? I equally don't think he's going to get in those positions that the Swede did in that second half to miss the chances. So I think they will be sitting back a little bit further. And again, I firmly believe here that Liverpool are going to grab a goal.
20 minutes left to go. Liverpool 2, Newcastle 1. All the goals coming in the first half. And Liverpool now 10 of their 14 goals this season have come in the first half of games. And they have possession again here with Virgil van Dijk up over halfway. He'll roll it into the feet of Firmino, is the one who drops deep this time. It's lifted over the top by Alexander-Arnold, but too many defenders around. Lascelles just keeps the ball in play. He's under pressure from Salah, and he's lost it to Mo Salah. Picks up the ball again and rolls it inside. Eventually it's worked to Fabinho. On again for Robertson, 25 yards out. Central position, finds Mane, corner of the area. He tries to roll it into the path of Wijnaldum. It comes back to Mane off a defender. Again, Liverpool have possession without having the opportunity to find a clear run into the box. Mane square for Fabinho again. Plays over on the right hand side. Salah picks up possession, comes inside, finds Firmino. Lovely flick for Salah again. Slipped by the defender. Salah into the box. Salah with the third goal for Liverpool. Beautiful move. Lovely flick on the edge of the penalty area. And Mo Salah, as soon as the defenders lost his balance, he was away into the box, had the opportunity, and angles the perfect shot into the far corner past Dubravka. It's Liverpool 3, Newcastle 1.
I think that's the game right there. Shaw looks like he's injured, but I tell you what, I mean, right from the time he picked it up, there's some lovely interchange of passing, isn't it? But lovely give and go. And again, it's Firmino, isn't it? That little heel to him is perfect. He runs through, beats the cover, and then flicks it into the back of the net. At Anfield, it could well be that Liverpool have sorted it out now and have the 3 points coming their way. Have scored their third goal. And it is Mo Salah. You can't keep him out of things. He started to move off. Lovely shimmy from him. Found Firmino. Great back heel. Salah continued his run. Eventually finds himself in the box and side-footed. Just flicks it past it, Dubravka. And it looks like he's sorted out the points.
And you see it again. It's a little drag back from Firmino as the ball comes into him with one foot, and then he just flicks it away with the other one. We see Fabian Schär lost his balance as he tried to turn around, and then may have jarred his knee as well into the turf. It could be a nasty one for the Newcastle defender, and Van Dijk and Salah, after the celebrations, both went over just to see how Fabian Schär was, as he was left in a crumpled heap inside the penalty area. And he's back on his feet, but he's hobbling off rather gingerly towards this near side, so there could be more problems here for Newcastle, as well as the fact that they are now 3-1 down with 17 minutes left to go. I'd be interested to see whether Fabian Schär can make his way out, but we said again, it's the flicks from Firmino again, isn't it? The little bit of inventiveness that's created opportunity after opportunity since he's come on.
Yeah, he's got number 9 in his back, but he's played like a 10, hasn't he? He's got superb skill. You won't see that flair, that Brazilian, fabulousness, and he just brings it to the party, doesn't he? I mean, oftentimes I think of him always like a workhorse. He'd work back deep into midfield to win the ball. He'd forget what finesse and what quality he's got on it. Since he'd been nothing short of remarkable since he'd come on the field, and provided that many opportunities for his teammates. It looked inevitable that they were going to grab that third goal, and we mentioned it. You don't have to be Mystic Meg to work out that Liverpool were going to score there. They were just playing that well. But here come Newcastle.
And they come forward again, ball lifted into the box, looking for Joe Linton. He does win the header, but he was always stretching, and it bounces harmlessly behind for a goal kick. And Jurgen Klopp has gone into his bottom drawer, pulled out his insurance policy, and James Milner appears on the sideline, as tends to be the case for Milner these days. On the bench from the start. He will come on. Oxlade-Chamberlain is the one whose afternoon is completed. He gets a good round of applause from the Liverpool fans, shakes hands with just about everybody on the field. Finally will head off. Not that it particularly matters with 15 minutes left to go in that sense, and a 3-1 scoreline, but a fairly regulation substitution from Liverpool this time.
Yeah, what a great character to bring off the bench, and he puts the skipper's armband on and off you go. I seem to remember him making a debut a lifetime ago now as a willowy 17-year-old or whatever it was, but Milner's a great guy to bring off the bench. Good range of passing, can play anywhere you like, middle of the park, out wide, left back, right back, super play.
There were two of the few that can remember Milner's debut. It's that long ago. The ball is picked up again by Newcastle. Long ball forward towards Joe Linton. Lovely takedown from him. Finds Atsu on the left-hand side. Here's Shelvey. Atsu continues the run. Shelvey tries to thread it through, but Matip wins back possession for the home side. Although they make a bit of a meal of getting it away, and Alexander-Arnold has to quickly get it back to Adrian, who will have to play it downfield first time under pressure from the Newcastle attack. Here's Joe Linton again. He drops towards Mutu. Lovely touch from him. Takes him away from a couple of Liverpool players, and he finds Atsu. Corner of the penalty area, but Liverpool back in numbers again as Willems and Atsu combine. And then Atsu lets himself down, allows the ball to run under his feet and out of play for a throw in. And Steve Bruce looks up to the skies, rolls his eyes, and another good opportunity, or a glimmer of an opportunity at least, for Newcastle has gone away.
Well, I think you've got to have that mindset. It looked to me early doors that they're going to try and nick a goal. Between us, we thought, we didn't really rate them, give them a chance. You thought they'd score a goal, which I didn't, and they shocked us early doors, and we did think, maybe they'll be able to do something. It gave them something to hang on to, but they just then meekly decided to sit back and defend. And you know what you're going to get? They've been a little bit better in the second half and then reverted back to type, didn't they? Just sat back, defend, and guess what? You're going to get spanked if you do that. So, you can't just play for 10-15 minutes, manager saying, all right, let's keep a shape, and then ignore him. Did he say hold Jeff back and defend? I doubt it. So I think he'll look at his team and he'll demand a bit more of them. But on the other side of things, Liverpool, it's their quality of passing that eventually has pushed Newcastle back.
Yeah, we were both kind of half right, I'm afraid, so far. John went 3-0, I went 2-1. We're halfway there for between us as Robertson picks up possession with Milner. Again, he will just play the simple stuff, as he always does, just sits in with Fabinho, creating that two in midfield that will hold and allow others to express themselves a little further forward. Here's Alexander-Arnold, who suddenly popped up on the right wing because he knows there's cover behind him. Wijnaldum's dropped into that right back spot for a moment. He will drift away now infield as Liverpool wander round. Salah is the one who pops up in the right wing back spot now with Alexander-Arnold in front of him. Salah lifts the ball into the penalty area. It's too high for everybody though. Mane was challenging with the defender on the far side. Let's try and see again how Fabian Schär is looking as he walks out of the penalty area. It seems the hobble has gone, so it wasn't a full-on twist of the knee for the Newcastle defender as Liverpool built up to their third goal. They lead by 3-1. Liverpool preparing for European action, of course, later on this week. Dubravka clears one long downfield. Matip and Joe Linton will battle for it. It's the Liverpool man who comes out in possession. Firmino turns into space, long way from goal, but he's powering down towards the penalty area. Good challenge by Hayden. Ball breaks away for Robertson, who tries to pass it back to Firmino, who hadn't even got off the floor. Not exactly sure what the Scotsman thought he was going to get. There's two Newcastle players down at the moment inside their own half of the field. Is one of them Schär again, who might have gone down? The referee is going to stop play now because Newcastle are really struggling, and Fabian Schär, I'm afraid to say, he's tried. He's come back on, but I'm afraid that's the end of his afternoon. And Isaac Hayden is also down now as well. Yeah,
not for the first time with Hayden either. So they're probably going to have to make changes. Firmino's been great since he's come on, but even he, on his knees, not going to pick up. Go on, Firmino. Just no chance of getting that. But fortunately for him, he's not the one who's been broken here. Hayden's put himself about and tried hard. I think Fabian Schär is a good player as well, but both of them getting treatment at the minute. And for Newcastle with some 11-12 minutes left of the game, hard to see it for them. They are going to make at least one change now, as we see Steve Bruce just in the office having to do a little bit of work now, and he's going to bring on Fernandez, I would have thought. So it looked like he was about to come on.
Yeah, Shea comes off to the sideline, hobbling much slower, unfortunately for him. I like Fabian Shea, I must admit, as a defender who can also be comfortable bringing the ball forward. He's not in the same Rolls Royce mode as Van Dijk, but plays in a similar kind of way. Wanting to keep possession, comfortable on the ball as well. Should he need to bring it out, Fernandez will drop in, so it will be a drop ball to Newcastle, uncontested these days of course, as Newcastle pick up possession again but on the halfway line. 10 minutes left to go then. Liverpool 3, Newcastle 1. It's gone towards the expected script this game so far, but Liverpool have had to work maybe a little harder than they wanted to after going a goal down. Newcastle looking for a free kick here that doesn't come, and Liverpool try and get forward with Mane trying to find Firmino, but it's cleared away long downfield. Hayden is okay and back on the field. It's going to be a free kick for a challenge on Robertson. As players went for the ball and clashed down the left-hand side. From Liverpool's point of view, it would appear to be job done at this stage. A little from Newcastle going forward. And you think about Adrian's game, we said before, he's hardly touched the ball, has he? Even though Newcastle have had little glimmers of possession inside the Liverpool half, it's not translated into anything really around the penalty area so far.
No, I think there was a real tipping point of the game, and for me that was when Kraft had the opportunities which he wasn't able to take. They created them by stealth, I think, or by something very canny tactically. You got to give you credit to Steve Bruce for that, but it didn't go in, and then all of a sudden they're pushed back, and then it's just another game at Anfield where the opposition is going to lose. Since Firmino's come on, he's just been devastating. Little bits of play. I mean, his range of passing, he's deadly from about 3 yards, isn't he? Okay, he's not passing it far, but he's just finding the angle. Little scoop balls, flick balls. He's got, that sort of pitch map in his head. He sees it in 3D, and it just puts him way ahead of the rank and file players. He wins the ball just at the edge of the area there, Firmino. I mean, for me, he's man of the match. He may not have started the game, but he's the one who's helped Liverpool finish it off, and he's been sensational today. He really has. Liverpool now looking to make a change. Looks like Shaqiri might be coming on.
Yeah, probably to give one of the front three a bit of a breather. One wouldn't expect it to be Firmino, of course, having only come on off the bench later on in the first half. But Liverpool do have a corner kick from their right-hand side. The ball whipped in by Alexander-Arnold towards the near post. Mane does win the header. Great header across as well towards the far post. It bounces in the 6-yard box. There is nobody there at all, though, and so it goes harmlessly away for a goal kick.
Yeah, I think my other thought about substitutions is that Yoshinori Muto comes on and Javier Manquillo comes on for Newcastle. Yeah, Kraft has missed, an opportunity. But like I said, I don't think Manquillo will be there to miss it. And the other thing is then Muto comes on for Almiron. I didn't think Almiron was playing badly, I don't understand why necessarily you would take him off. It's changed for change's sake. Maybe he wanted to manage his workload, maybe he'd been playing in the break, but I didn't see a reason to take him off necessarily. And I think when you do stuff like that, it's a bit dispiriting, because I think Almiron played quite well, and if I were going to take anybody off, it might have been Atsu anyway. Here come Liverpool again.
Yeah, Salah through the centre finds Wijnaldum as the furthest player forward. Salah again tries to find the run of Firmino or Mane, but on this occasion there's just a couple of Newcastle defenders in the right place at the right time to clear the ball away. As Shelvey plays a ball downfield, he's looking towards Joe Linton. Adrian will get there first. I think flag has gone up anyway. Yes, it has, because the clearance away from Adrian wasn't the best, but he gets away with it, and the board will go up. In fact, it looks like it's Wijnaldum who will be the man who will come off. Shaqiri on for him. That's the final change then for Liverpool through the centre. Wijnaldum again gets the standing ovation from the Kop and others around Anfield. Another pretty good performance from him.
Yeah, not bad. We'll have a bit of a recap now what we've just seen at Anfield. Shaqiri and Milner are on to steady the ship and see Liverpool home. in the sunshine at Anfield today. They've looked pretty good. They've passed it well. I think Firmino's going to end up man of the match. He may not have started the game, but certainly is going to help Liverpool finish it. They're in command and on the ball. The changes for Newcastle late doors have not worked. Yoshinori Muto has come on for Miguel Almiron, but he's hardly touched the ball. We're having Mankio on for Emil Kraft doesn't really matter at all. And it's Liverpool who are coasting home.
Certainly are so far. And they have yet another corner kick on that right hand side, taken short on this occasion. So Alexander Arnold will be the man who finally puts the cross in. But it's a poor one, easily cleared away by Newcastle. 5 minutes left, Liverpool 3, Newcastle 1, as John says. This will keep Liverpool on this unbeaten run. It'll be 43 league matches now for Liverpool. And the fourth team to win 14 consecutive top flight matches, and the first to score more than once in every one of those games so far.
So what do you say, 43 matches unbeaten, is it?
43 league matches at Anfield unbeaten, 32 wins, 10 draws since April 2017, so a full season's worth of home games, I suppose, in that sense. Just about.
They're giving season ticket holders value for money, aren't they?
Certainly, and the goals as well, as we said, this season. 14 consecutive top flight matches that they've won, and scored at least twice in every single one of them as well.
I'm beginning to think that Jurgen Klopp's a decent manager,
I'm drifting towards that viewpoint, I have to say. I drifted towards it before it even left Germany. But anyway, there we are. Robertson has possession. Right man, right fit, right position, and the right tools as well to go with it, of course.
The thing is, I know it's a trite thing to say, but he does seem very likeable, doesn't he? And apparently he does care about the players that he's got. But well, he might, as the ball lifted over the top. But I think it's inspired their formation, everything, the way they go about it. He's had to be subtle to readjust. They were a bit of a one-trick pony, weren't they, when they were just firing into games and then sort of tanking halfway through and getting a bit tired. They don't play that similar game. It's similar, but it's different, isn't it? But they don't expend as much energy, do they, as they used to do, and it's a more measured sort of work rate from them as they try and score another. And Salah and Nearly finds a way through there. Alexander Arnold was in the mix there as well. He's played so narrow today, but even all that has worked out for them. They might have conceded 2 goals for being too narrow today, but I think they've always thought, well, we'll outscore the opposition, and well, certainly they have today, haven't they?
But they're not the kind of team that plays in that way of, well, it doesn't matter how many you score because we'll score more, in that sense, are they? They're not open at the back. Yes, there are little deficiencies that some teams can pick off at times when they do have those opportunities, as Newcastle did in the first 10 minutes.
But they can't seem to keep a clean sheet. I mean, last season there were a stack of clean sheets, and you thought, all right, well, they've learnt how to defend. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just the keeper. With no disrespect to Adrian, but the fact that he doesn't play as a sweeper, maybe that's changed the whole way they go about it. But I don't know. I think they're going to have to do a lot more outscoring opposition while Adrian's there. We don't no disrespect to him,
Today has come from the goals came from the fact that they didn't set that right hand side properly in defence, did they? Because Alexander Arnold wasn't picking up the runs, was getting dragged into the middle. We saw it again. Here comes Shaqiri into the box, played across. There's a flag up though against Firmino. Mane taps the ball into the empty net, but the big yellow flag on the far side has gone up, and therefore it will be ruled out and a free kick to Newcastle.
Let's take another look, and when the ball is played, just a step offside they are. And Firmino knows, he looks back. He thought he timed that just right, and it looked easy on the eye, didn't it? But it was offside. But they've done all that. They've made it look like a training session today. Little bits of piece of movement, triangles, passes, giving goals. All that endeavour to break past this sort of almost 5-6 man rearguard at times. And they've been able to do it. But sensational stuff really. And they've made Firmino man of the match quite right too.
Yeah, he's been superb since he came on. Origi was pretty good to start off with in that position before he went off injured, but Firmino has certainly taken it up a level. It's rare that a substitute will win man of the match, although he has been on since the middle of the first half. As Liverpool pick up possession again, couple of minutes left to go now. They can ease their way in, see if they can grab another one somewhere along the line, because Newcastle, I'm afraid to say, from an attacking point of view, had given up the ghost a good 20 minutes or so ago. As Alexander-Arnold picks up possession, ball played forward up towards Firmino, ball cleared away.
I mean, they had opportunities, didn't they? I mean, you think, right, okay, so Kraft missed his shot. Oh, well, right, we'll put Manquillo in there. Really? And then the other thing you think, right, well, Shah's picked up an injury. Well, let's chuck on a striker. Let's do something. Oh no, I put Federico Fernandez on. You know, on one hand I'm saying he did some clever things today, Steve Bruce, and on the other I'm saying, and then he's accepted it like his team have. You know, all right, but yeah, we were never going to win at Anfield, were we? We gave it a go. I don't think it's quite good enough. I do believe, even though they've got some good players, but they could easily get dragged into that relegation dogfight this season.
I do think as well, as say 43 unbeaten games now. You come in with an attitude of, well, we can't beat them anyway, and that's not helpful, is it, in that sense? Because for the first, you say, 20 minutes or so, yes, Liverpool had a lot of possession, but Newcastle had certainly matched them for endeavour, for effort, for covering over in defence, etc., etc. And Liverpool hadn't had a really clear opportunity until they scored.
Yeah, they played well up, to a point, into 3 minutes of added time. But then, if Steve Bruce told them, oh, you know, all drift back and then defend deep. But if he didn't, then he needs his captain on the field to drag them up and people to be shouting, the leaders to be shouting at each other, saying, hang on, we're too deep here, come on, push. None of that. You know, they've accepted it rather too meekly today. Anyway, maybe an opportunity, but Muto finds himself offside. He was clearly offside there. He's not had a kick since he's come on.
Yeah, same again, I'm afraid, for Newcastle in this second half particularly. We've seen lots of good runs forward. I'm not totally sure whether he is offside there. That's incredibly tight. Give the assistant the benefit of the doubt. He has the better angle than the TV cameras that we are seeing. Independent off-tube studio commentary. A couple of minutes left to go then. We're into stoppage time already. As Newcastle pick up possession again inside the centre of the field. Hayden plays a good ball down the right-hand side, looking for the run again of Muto, but guess who's there? Van Dijk. Just casually wanders across, covers the space, plays the ball back out again, and off Liverpool go again.
Well, Muto is a striker really, but his problem is that he's been a good striker in sort of lesser leagues, if you like. So he's 5'10" up against 6'5". You know, he's going to end up being a 1 in 10 sort of striker. And then he's not somebody you can start with, and then you're going to start shoehorning him in inside left, inside right, because he's not scoring the goals, and eventually destroy his game. So that's why I would keep Almira on, because he's playing his natural position. Whereas Muto is not. It's rather hopeful, saying, "Oh, chuck him on, he might grab a goal." But it's going to be another game where you look at the stats where he has not scored. I feel a bit sorry for him just thrown in like that.
Yeah, we know what he can do. We've seen it for Mainz in Germany.
He had a good scoring record for them, you know.
He was, and he was a good player as well as a team player, very active around the penalty area and deeper as well. But you say, he doesn't quite fit into this system, particularly away from home for Newcastle. He wants to be up alongside Joe Linton somewhere, so the two of them could play together. And at the moment, he's kind of done that over the last couple of minutes. Now that the game is largely gone, whether he's took that on himself, as the ball chipped over the top by Shelby, looking towards Atsu, but far too much on it. Ball bobbles behind in front of the cup. Alexander-Arnold just able to ease it away from anybody else. So it will be the chance for Adrian to clear downfield. That should be around about the end of the game as he rolls it into the feet of Fabinho.
I wonder if they regret over-celebrating that first goal now. I wonder what the handshake's going to be like at the end. Bit uncomfortable, I think.
Maybe a little frosty, I feel. Although you kind of get the feeling that Jurgen Klopp will just kind of put that one into the back of his memory and we'll worry about it later. As the referee does now bring the game to the end. A comfortable win in the end for Liverpool then after Newcastle took the lead early on. It finishes at Anfield. Liverpool 3.
Right, so full time it finishes 3-1 to Liverpool. I'm going to end the stream now, but I'm going to do another stream in 9 minutes for Tottenham v Crystal Palace. So if you want to see that, then subscribe to the channel and come back on my channel in about 8 minutes time, and then I'll